More now on the Supreme Court's major decision on gun access in this country, overturning New York State's handgun licensing law and ruling that it violates the Second Amendment, infringes on people's rights in this country. It's a decision that comes with particular timing following a mass shooting that killed 10 people in Buffalo last month and a deadly subway shooting in New York City. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has sharply criticized the ruling and says that the state of New York will respond. And she joins us now. Governor Hochul, thank you very much for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
There are people who are cheering this ruling, and I want to get your response to them, but also your response to the ruling itself. What do you think New York State can do to rein in guns after the Supreme Court has said, actually, the Second Amendment extends outside the home?
We believe that the decision was shocking in its scale and also reprehensible, given that we are experiencing a nationwide gun violence crisis. So to strip away the ability of a state like New York that's had a law in the books for over 100 years, this is not a recently enacted change in how we manage our licensing. We've always done this. The only thing that has changed is the political composition of the Supreme Court. That being said, we're prepared to take action. We have legislation being drafted. We plan to go to a special session next week. But to those who are cheering this, say, we never were taking away your right to possess a gun. But we have a right to restrict who has it and where they use this gun.
Everybody in America recognizes that there's a problem with gun violence. And the people who cheer this, what they say, what they see is, look, there is a problem with gun violence. And I, as a law-abiding citizen, want to be able to hold a gun on my person so that I feel safer. What do you say to that individual?
I say that makes everyone else feel very unsafe. We don't know if you're provoked. You know, you're in a bar and you're having someone looks at your girlfriend or your boyfriend the wrong way. There are so many triggers. It is, if someone wants to have a legal gun license, protection in their home, that is their domain, they can do that. We've always allowed that. Or for hunting and other purposes. But to think that someone would be able to do this on a subway, in a crowded, tense situation during rush hour, no, we have a right to protect our citizens. Not take away your right to own, that's fine. But where you take it and the ability to conceal it, that's just going to make things so much more complicated for law enforcement and others.
Yeah, but back to Tony's point, the people that are cheering this are saying it's not the guns that are the problem, it's the criminals that are using the guns that are the problem.
And here's what happens. You have 25% of gun violence cases, shootings, are with stolen guns.
Yes.
They are stolen from legal gun owners who didn't properly lock them up or manage them. So we have to tighten up our laws. We will respond. We have a strategy. We've been involving legal experts from all over the country to make sure that we do the next steps to let New Yorkers know we're going to protect them.
I heard something interesting in the decision yesterday, that it should not impact the restrictions of carrying firearms in sensitive places. What is a sensitive place in the state of New York? Is a subway a sensitive place?
Gayle, that's an excellent question, and we are going to define sensitive places in the legislation we're drafting.
What's your definition of it, Governor?
It's hard to find a place that's not sensitive, in my judgment. We know what we have to do, but places where there's gatherings of people, like could be a sporting event, Rangers games get a little rough and tumble.
Seems like no place is safe nowadays.
Well, think about this. Subways, churches, places, synagogues, mosques, places, religious gatherings, places where there's children,
They've all been
daycare
attacked.
centers.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of vulnerable places. And also the right of a private property owner, a business owner, owns a bar. He may not want someone, or she may not want someone to walk in with a concealed carry. So we're going to look at their rights to protect their establishment as well. And that's what our laws
will this make this harder for police to do their jobs, do you think?
I believe it will, Gayle.
Why?
It's going to complicate things. When a police officer who's trained to identify and notice if there's, some evidence of a bulge on a pocket or something, they're trained. How will they know whether this is someone who's has an illegal gun about to go commit a crime versus someone who may have the concealed carry license? So it's complicating things, and they already have a tough job to do. We're trying to protect people in our streets, and what we had in place for 100 years in this state worked. Didn't strip away rights, protect our citizens. I'm the governor. My job is to protect the people of this state. And they've complicated this tremendously, and we're standing up.
Let's change gears for a little bit. We're also waiting for another major Supreme Court decision. which is the possibility of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Now, you signed a package of bills earlier this month, which basically provides protection for people seeking abortions. What are those legal protections?
We're protecting our abortion providers from lawsuits brought by someone in another state. A place like Texas, for example, they give people a private right of action so someone else who's not even affected can sue an abortion provider. I wanted to make sure that our providers in New York are protected. We passed that law. Also, to make sure that our providers have the resources they need, because there will be a mass migration of women in search of reproductive freedom from other states coming to New York. So we had to beef up with $35 million to give them the resources they need. But you think about the inconsistency of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
They're saying that we'll leave it up to states to restrict a woman's right to choose.
Right.
But you won't leave it up to me to protect my citizens with gun safety laws. So states' rights, I'm not sure what they're thinking. All I know is this seems like a very political agenda.
You got a lot on your plate, Governor.
We sure do, but we're up for it.
Hochul, thank you so much.
Thank you.